In this video, I'm going to build an end-to-end quantitative hedge fund. I'm going to run you through the whole process from scratch, showing you how I build all these algorithms without any coding and turn them live in my brokerage account with real money in this one simple video. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but by the end of it, you'll see exactly how my hedge fund is built, and I will turn it on in front of you. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jordan. I've been a trader for over 8 years. I'm the founder of OptionBots, which is this platform here. And I've been quantitatively trading for the past 2 years or so. And this is going to be a fun video, so let's get into it. So I'm going to move my face cam over here in the corner, make it a little bit smaller, and we're going to get started, all right? Now, this is the platform where I'm going to build all of my trading bots. It's all going to be automated options trading algorithms. So once they're live, I'm not going to touch them. And I'm going to connect it to my broker and trade them live. Now, this is a test account. I'm going to see all these different bots on here. We're going to build it from scratch. And the first thing we have to do is start out with the planning. All right. So I have a few different things I'm going to show on here. But the first thing is the hedge fund planning. All right. Now, the way hedge funds tend to work is that you want to pick a core thesis for what your type of algorithm or your portfolio is going to look like. Now, for me, what my knowledge is in my background is all based around options selling and doing low volatility based strategies. Okay. So low volatility based strategies. Now, what do low volatility option selling based strategies look like? Well, they typically look like iron condors. They typically look like iron butterflies. And maybe I'll add in a few directional ones as well to hedge. All right. It's in the name, hedge fund, but we're going to do that to hedge against our low volatility. But this is kind of the thesis I'm going in, which is low volatility based strategies. Okay. And basically these types of strategies are going to make money when the market's doing nothing. So on a day like, the SPY, market's open right now. Since market open, we haven't really done much. So these would perform really well. Obviously on a day where the market's extremely crazy or trending up, they're probably not going to perform as great, but that's why we're going to build a few directional hedging strategies in there to counteract that. All right. So first thing we need to do when we get this, before we start building any bots, is build our core thesis. Okay. And I'm going to show you kind of the process of how I build my portfolios and how I think about them. Right. And the way they work is that I have a core thesis that I'm looking at. Okay. So maybe one core strategy. And I'll kind of show you what that is in a second, which will be an iron condor one. I'll show you how I arrived at that. And the way we do this is you want to build multiple different algos, okay? Because any portfolio or any hedge fund that just has one or two algos, that's like the God algo or the God trading bot, is not a thing, right? The goal is that you have a multitude of different strategies that work in different conditions, right? Now, and the one we're building in this video is going to be more based around low volatility, based algorithms, right? That's kind of our goal here with this. But also, we want to build a few algos that work when the market goes up, a few algos that work when the market goes down, a few of them, obviously, when they stay sideways in the middle. And really to expand, if you want to do ultimate hedging and really have a fully robust hedge fund, you also want to build ones that are high volatility strats, like straddles, strangles. Those types of strategies are going to perform well. And so when you have multiple different bots that work in really any market condition, that's how you're going to build a successful hedge fund. Okay. And the goal really for us in this whole thing, let's say this is my, equity P&L curve, right? So this is like our chart, right? This is time down here. This is our P&L. What we want is we want something that looks like this, right? Right. We want the smoothest P&L curve we can find, because the other, route to go is if you have something that looks like this, and this is what a lot of, starter hedge funds or starter people will do when they're building these algos, is their P&L curve will look something like this. Okay. It'll just be a crazy mess. And yes, by the end of it, from point A to point B, they may be up and profit, right? But you don't want to go through this mess, right? You want a P&L curve that looks very smooth like this. And so that's what we're going to focus on building today in this video. We're going to do that by building a multitude of strategies. So we always start with our core thesis, and then what we do is we branch them out, okay? Branch them out. Because let's say I have a really good SPY iron condor strategy, okay? What I like to do is then say, okay, well, what we can do is we can branch that out across QQQ. We can branch it out across IWM, maybe other individual stocks, Apple, Tesla, of that nature. I'm going to keep it with just the indices here to keep it really simple. And then you can also slightly change the criteria, okay? So let's say, for example, this iron condor, and I'll show you all this in a second. We're going to dive into it in a second here. But let's say this iron condor has a, 50% take profit and a 50% stop loss. You can tweak those and say, okay, we're going to go instead with a 70% take profit and a 70% stop loss. And then we're going to branch that out again across QQQ and IWM. And now you go from having one core thesis, which is one algorithm, to now having 3 different algorithms right here, to now having 6, right? So you have SPY, QQQ, IWM at 50% take profit, 50% stop loss. And then you have those same 3 at 70% take profit, 70% stop loss. And you built one core thesis. Sorry, my computer cut out. You had one core thesis, and you basically turned it into 6 different algorithms or trading bots. Okay, so that's kind of the goal with what I want to go with here. Now, what I'm going to do for this as well is we're just going to add in some kind of notes here. We're going to do a 100K trading account. All right, and then we're going to have to add in, obviously, risk management, make sure we know we're not risking too much. And that's kind of the plan for what the fund is going to look like. So there we go. So that's what we have. Now, what I want to do is kind of show you the one core thesis. How do we arrive at a core thesis? Well, there's a lot of different planning you can do, right? So if you go, this is like a CBOE article that somebody wrote, kind of going about 0 DTE, SPX, Iron Condor strategies in a deep dive. Actually, one thing I forgot to mention, we want to keep this on a 0 DTE or 1 DTE focus, okay? I don't want to do like 30 days out, 45 days out. Those strategies do work really well. For me, I want to keep it relatively short term, getting in and out every single day. And if I do have a few strategies that are 1 DTE or holding 1 day, then we'll make sure to add that in as well. So let's go ahead and get started with our core thesis. So our core thesis is that iron condors tend to make money. When you're selling options, they tend to work. Now, this article, CBOE made an article about how SPX iron condor strategy breakdowns tend to work, especially on 0 DTE. We're actually going to use this for one of the other variations, kind of what I call like the branch out of our main core thesis. But I've already taken the courtesy to backtest a few different bots and show you one that we're going to use, okay? So this right here is a platform called Option Omega. This is a backtesting software. Now, we're actually going to add backtesting into Option Bots, this platform here. So you can just backtest right on here and then automatically turn it into a bot. In fact, we've already done that. We already worked on a few different backtesting, and we kind of rolled it out a little bit here. We're going to make it public very, very soon. So I'm going to show you this in a second. But one of the backtests I did was on this. So if you want to make an account with there, you can do that. And this was what the backtest looks like. All right. You can see on my screen, it's a SPY Iron Condor. And it's very simple, right? You're simply selling the 20 deltas with a 1 point spread width. We're doing 0 DTE. And this one is a 50% take profit and a 50% stop loss. All right. You can see the P&L curve looks really, really smooth, right? Looks really, really good. Now you can see if we go back from here, this was around 4 or 5 months ago, and we're kind of around the same area. So we were kind of break even over across 4 to 5 months, which is okay, right? The goal is that this one algo does not take us to the moon, that we have multiple that work with us. But the drawdowns look very smooth, and this P&L curve looks really, really nice. So we're going to go ahead and build this and have this be our core thesis bot, okay? So this is going to be our core thesis. It's going to be Iron Condor on SPY. You can see the back test is right here. And so this one is a 20 delta with a 1 point spread. Okay, so we're going to 20 delta, 1 point spread width. Okay. So this is going to be we're going to call this bot 1. All right. Give ourselves some space here. So this is going to be bot 1 like that. Okay. Now, this is going to be on SPY. And so obviously what we can do is we just want to branch this out. So we can duplicate the same exact one across QQQ. And we can also do it across IWM. Okay, so now we're hitting all the indices. And now we have 3 different bots. So pretty simply, we went from basically nothing to this. All right, and we're going to get over the risk management part soon. But for now, we're just focused on like which bots we actually want to create. Right, so we start with our core thesis, which is based off other research or data that either myself would do. Again, purpose of this video, I'm just going to go over articles that other people have done for us. So we can just take their research and build bots around it. And then we turn it into a back test. And again, I'll show you a few more backtests on our actual platform. And then we build the bot around that. All right. So it's going to be bot 1 on SPY, bot 2 on Q, bot 3 on IWM. Okay. Now these ones you can see have 50% take profit, 50% stop loss. Okay. So if we were to take the same one, and let's say we change this to a, oh, I forgot to put in here, the VIX is 1 to 25. Okay. So let me add that in there. Is 1 to 25. All right. So anytime VIX is above 25, we're in high volatile conditions. We're not going to trade the strategy. So now we can just slightly tweak this, right? We can kind of see, remember what this curve looks like. So we can go ahead and change this to, let's say we go a little bit higher risk reward. So we go with something like 25% take profit, and we go with like a 60% stop loss. So we're going to run that back test. We're going to see how that goes. In the meantime, we're actually going to look to build out this actual strategy as well, right? Because this one right here gets in at 220, right? So this one is kind of like an end of day, where is it? 2:20 p.m. This is an end of day volatility strategy, right? If I'm looking at SPY, right, all we're doing is taking advantage of basically the last 2 hours of the day. So on this day here, 2:20 would be right here. So all we're basically saying is from this point here until the close, we're basically expecting price to do nothing. As long as it does, this strategy and this algo is going to make us money. And so this one is very similar. I'm going to go over. So this one is basically a 0DT SPXR in Condor, okay? And you can see this one is just an example here, right? So let's say the asset is at 5,636. You're selling a put 6510, 6520, and you're selling a call 6550 and 6560, okay? And you're basically getting a premium based around that. And so if we actually go to this, so we can take a look at this back test. This one also looks really good, right? I know I'm kind of going all over the place. Just stay with me. But you can see this is what we did. You did a small variation, and now this one looks really, really good, right? Very, very smooth. We're actually going to save this one. We're going to create this one. We're going to call this one higher TP and stop loss, okay? And so if we're looking at this one, again, I don't use this platform that much, but you can see it looks very, very smooth. Sharp ratio, Sortino looks very good. 64% annual return. Pretty simple stuff. If I go back to my test here, and I go back to the original one, this one had a 20% drawdown. This one was 13%. This one had a higher win rate. This one had a lower, this one had a lower win rate. This one had a higher win rate, right? But both of these are really, really good, really, really solid. So we're actually going to add this as variation. So we can go back and we can say variation 1 of SPY, right? This one is going to be the same thing, 2:20 p.m. Oh, this one's going to have, let me go back. What did I see there? We did a 25% take profit, 60% stop loss. Take profit, 60% stop loss. Okay. And we can go ahead and make that there. And this is actually going to be bot 4. Okay. And then we can do this across bot 5 and then also bot 6. Okay. Which will be IWM and QQQ. Boom. All right. So this is going to be bot 5. And this will be bot 6 here. Okay. So now we have 6 different bots. Now we want to get this to a lot more. And we want to add in a few other strategies, right? So we have 6 different bots here. Now what we want to add, as we said, these are all Iron Condor based strategies, and they all get in the afternoon at 2:20, right? So what we want to do is we also want to take advantage, so put some notes here, advantage of early day decay, right? So whenever the market's not doing anything in the middle of the day or early in the day, we want to take advantage of that. So we want to do something similar for earlier in the day. And then we also want to find a hedge for directional plays, okay? Because again, if the market starts to just rip in one direction, either up or down, like this instance here, all of our algos are going to lose, and we don't want that. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take advantage of earlier day decay, and we want to find similar ones for earlier in the day, all right? So now I've also taken the courtesy. Like I said, we've been working on our own backtester inside of our tool here. If I go to template guide, And to make this easy, we're just going to start with the actual hedge for directionals. Okay, I'm going to get to this one in a second, but we want to start with just the hedge for directional plays. Okay, I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger so we can plan this out. Now, how do we actually hedge? Well, we want to do directional based plays. Now, if you go to the template guide, you can see we have a short put spread bot and we have a short call spread bot. Okay, and those are going to work in our favor, especially if we're getting in both of them, right? So let's say, for example, we're looking at SPY right here, and we're getting in a short put spread bot. So that would mean we're shorting, like, let's say the 680s. We're buying like the 679s. As long as price stays above 680, this exact bot is going to make money. So it's a directional bot. As long as price stays above 680, it doesn't matter if market rips, that's going to protect us against these other low volatility strategies. Same thing on the other side if we're doing a short call spread from here and here, right? So that's kind of the strategy we want to go for and add, right? Now we already have these as templates. You can see I've already ran the back test around there. You can see the total P&L, average win, average drawdown, 64% win rate. You can see how these work. And again, both of these, even though they're hedged, they can make money for us at the same time, right? If the market simply does nothing and stays like in between these two levels, then both of these are also going to make money. So while it is a hedge, they can also make money at the same time. But obviously that's the goal for the directional plays. So if I go back to here, we're going to do a SPY short call spread bot. Okay. Short call spread bot. And we're going to SPY short put spread bot. Okay. That's going to get us bot 7. And this will get us to bot 8. Okay. So I also have these exact bot templates shown for you right here. So where they get in, kind of exactly how they work, and that will kind of take advantage of those as well. So we'll kind of run through these when we actually start building the bots in the platform and connecting them. But for now, we have them when we need them. Okay. Now we also want to get other types of plays in there, right? So I'm going to be kind of an iron butterfly. Now the reason I want to go with an iron butterfly is because, again, we've already done the testing. So if we go back to here, if I go to where is it? The Flutter, right? This is what we call a 0DT iron butterfly bot. This one still gets in a little bit later. So we can add this into the portfolio. So we're going to go ahead and add that in. That's a QQQ, QQQ iron butterfly, like so. All right. And then what we can do, because we have bot 7, bot 8, this will be bot 9, is we want to add in some more based around this, okay? So this one does pretty wide spreads, 10-point spreads with a very high win rate, okay? Like they're going for 9-to-1 risk reward. So if they lose, maybe they lose $900, but if they win $100. So they're going very, very high. Now, if we go to Tasty Trade, for example, so I can show you this, we go to SPX, right? So if we look at just SPX today, as I'm making this video, right, we're at 6,840, okay? That's the current price of S&P 500. Now, if we look at 7,840 right here, now we want to look at essentially the delta. If we want a 90% win rate strategy, okay, we want to go with the deltas that are 0.1, okay? Because delta is basically your chance of being in the money. So if it's at 0.1, that's a 10% chance price is going to go in the money. So if we're looking at on the put side, we're looking at 6,795. And again, they were doing 10-point spreads. So we're going to go 6,795 by 6,785. And then if we go on the other side, we're going to go to 0.1 delta, which is 6,875 and 6,885. So 6,875 would be all the way up here. And then if we go back to the other one, 6,795 would be down here. Okay. So this particular algo is going to make money as long as price stays in between 6,875 and 6,795. Doesn't matter where price goes, as long as we stay in between here, it's going to profit. Okay. Now, as we're kind of looking through this, right, you can see this one's going to have a max profit of $100, max loss of 900, right? So that's pretty much exactly that 9-to-1 risk reward that we're looking at. Again, that's not the real kind of risk here, because again, if we are trading, well, it is the real risk, right? But if we're trading a strategy like this, only one of these sides can lose, especially in iron condor, right? Because we can't close above here and close below here, right? So for this to really work, we're going to collect some premium on one side. Now, there is a pretty heavy risk reward, right? If we do lose on this type of algo, it's not going to be fun, but it will have a 90-ish% win rate, statistically speaking, across a large data set. And that's kind of what we're preparing for. So what we can do is we can add an SPX iron condor, and this one will be in the morning. This will be at 10 a.m., right? So it's actually 10:30 a.m., so an hour into the market open as I'm filming this. So if we get it 30 minutes earlier, the premium on these are probably going to be a little bit higher. So maybe we could get these filled around like 120, 125. So it's going to look a little bit better. But right now we're looking at about $1, which is fine, okay? So we're going to look at that in SPX. Now, again, we can add this across QQQ. We can add this across IWM. That's going to get us bot 10, bot 11, and then bot 12. Beautiful. Oops, bot 12. And there we go. We have basically our 12 bot portfolio here. Okay, and this one, just to have the context or the notes here, this one was a 0.1 delta, 10 point width. Okay, we'll go with 100% take profit, try and let those expire. We'll go with a 200% stop loss in case those do end up failing. All right, so there we go. We have a low volatility based hedge fund here. I think all of the bots we're working at here, excuse me, are currently 0 TT, which is fine. Typically, I like to get a mix of 1 DTE and 0 TT, but having all 0 TT is fine as I'm building this. We have all the templates in place. We know which ones are going to make money. We have the back test to make sure that these are going to work. And so next steps from here are very simple. All we need to do is plan out risk management. So we want to plan risk management across 100K. And then what we want to do is essentially build them. Build them in the platform and turn them live. Okay? Now for risk management, right, if we have 12 different bots, let me go down here, make some notes. If we have 12 bots, okay, we have 100K in capital. If I do some quick math here, right, so 100,000 divided by 12, that would put us about 8,300 into each bot, okay? We'll call it 8K into each bot, to be careful. Now, if we're putting 8K in each bot, here's what's really important about risk management. It's not necessarily about how much we're putting in each bot. It matters how much we're risking, okay? And you can determine this with a calculator. So, and I'll actually show you as we go and build the bots inside of the platform, it'll kind of take you to this page here if you want to, where it kind of helps you. We call it exposure estimator. All right, this is actually free. If you go to optionbots.com, it's one of our under our free tools. You'll be able to see this here. And we look through it. So, for example, if we're looking at the SPX Iron Condor, okay, if we go back, so let's say we're doing Iron Condor, the spread width is 10 points, short delta is 0.1. If we were doing one contract, right, it says the total risk per one contract is $900. If we go back to Tasty Trade, that's very accurate. You can see right there, max loss is $900. Okay. Now this is just an estimate, but this is a nice calculator you can use to kind of give an estimate of how much you could lose in one single trade. All right. So let's say this was the case, and you can only take a minimum of one contract. So if we go in here, one contract of SPX, 10 delta is $900 of risk. Okay. Now, on a $100,000 account, let me go back here. Let's say you're risking 3% a day, that's $3,000. Okay. Now, the thing with risk and using multiple algos is because we have a few bots in here that are hedging, we can actually go above the risk we want to, right? Because even if this strategy does lose money, these other ones could make money, and the hedge ones will make money and hedge against that. So the typical rule of like you don't want to lose more than 1 to 2% of your account per trade, it makes sense. You don't want to look at that. I just realized the calculator is not showing up on the screen for some reason, but I was just typing in the calculator just then, right? Now, if we look at like some of the other strategies here, like the SPY, 20 delta, 1 point spread, Okay, so if I go back to here, 0.2 delta, 1 point spread, iron condor. Now we're looking at $80 a contract risk, right? And so if we want to get into like that $500 per risk range, we could take up to about, what was that? 6 different contracts, okay? So for the SPY bots, right, we can go with 6 contracts. And that's going to risk about $500 per bot. Now, again, if we're doing that across 12 different bots, that's a lot of risk. So honestly, I may want to lower this down and honestly probably cut it to like 2 contracts. That's going to put us about 160 because, again, we are doing this across 3 different bots, right? So we have our SPY main Iron Condor bot. We're doing this on the Q and IWM. So if we did 2 contracts, that's 160. And we did that times 2 more, that would be around like 480-ish bot, if my math is correct. 480 for those 3 bots. Okay, so for the SPY bots, the QQs, the IWMs, we go to contracts. Iron Butterfly would be the same. And then the hedges, let's actually look at the hedges as well. So with the hedges, we're doing a 0.2 delta and 0.01 long put. So if we actually go to SPY, so we got to figure out the spread width. So where was it? 0.2 delta, 0.01 width. So if we look at the 0.2 deltas, which would be here, 0.01 width is here. So that is about a 12-point spread. Okay, so if we're doing an Iron Condor, we're doing a credit spread. We have a 12-point spread on a 0.2 delta. Then that would be 960 total for 1 contract. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that we have stop losses in place. Okay? On these ones particularly, we have 120% stop loss, right? I didn't even take into account the stop loss in the original SPX one we were doing here, but that's something to keep in mind, right? So the actual risk would be less than the ones we're talking about here. But to keep things simple, we can just go with 2 contracts on each. Okay? So hedge bots, we'll go 2 contracts, and we can keep it pretty simple from there. Okay? And the same thing with Iron Butterfly, we can go 2 contracts there. And really, we're going to know like in the first day or 2 how much these are actually risking, and we can adjust from there. But to keep it simple for the purposes of the video, we'll go from there. And there we go. Pretty solid. We have about 12 different bots. A little bit of a mess on this page here, but this looks pretty solid for what we're looking for, right? We're taking advantage of these low volatility. We have some that get in the morning, some that get in at night. We have some hedges in there, and I think it should perform pretty well. So now what we can do is actually use the platform, build these in, and turn them live, okay? So as I said before, this is one of our testing accounts. I have a bunch of different bots in here. All of these are turned off at the moment. But we're going to go ahead and build a decent amount of these from scratch, okay? Now you can see I already have a few different of my brokers connected, Tasty Trade, Tradier, Schwab. We're going to do this on my TradeStation account. That's where a lot of the funds are. So we're going to go ahead and add a trading bot, all right? And we're going to go ahead and start with the first one, right? So we're going to start with this first SPY, this one right here. I can go back to the original, this one, and we're going to build this exact bot right now, right? So we're going to call this, we'll call it HF for hedge fund. We'll call it bot 1, SPY Iron Condor, okay? We're going to connect it to TradeStation, Iron Condor. We're going to go from there. So this one's going to be on SPY. If we go back, remember, this one is the, 20 or 0.2 delta, no matter how you type it, with a 1 point width, one spread width, right? So we're going to go with 0.2 delta, 1 point spread width. We're going to do a 0 DTE bot. VIX, if I remember, was 1 and 25. And these ones got in at 220. Yeah, minimum 125, 220. So we're going to get in this one at 2:20 p.m. Continue. These ones had a 50% stop loss and take profit. Okay. So we're going to go 50% take profit, 50% stop loss. Now, forced exit, this isn't a parameter we put into here for people that don't want to hold overnight. I'm going to put this as 5 minutes for almost all the bots, mainly because I don't want to hold anything in the close. You know, if these end up going in the money in the close, I don't want to be holding on to that, getting assigned. That's not fun. So I just put it here at 5 minutes, which means, 5 minutes before the close, if the take profit or the stop loss hasn't hit, it's going to exit this position for me. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. I believe this one we had 2 contracts. Continue, and we're going to launch that. Okay, now I'm going to turn all these live at the end. But if I go back to my bot, you can see right there, hey, hedge fund bot 1, SPY, Iron Condor. So now what we want to do is build the same one across QQQ and IWM. So I'm going to go ahead and get these going. So we're going to call this hedge fund QQQ, or hedge fund bot 2, QQQ, Iron Condor. Okay, so it's the same thing, trade station, Iron Condor. This one's going to be the Qs. Okay, 0.2 delta, 1 point spread, 0 DTE, minimum 1 to 25 on the VIX. We're going to get in here at 220, like this, PM. We're going to go 50% take profit, 50% stop loss, 5 minutes before close, 2 contracts, and launch. And then all we need to do is build the IWM one. So this will be, go back, HF bot 3, IWM, Iron Condor. Same thing, just like that. We're going to go IWM. 0.2 delta, 1 point width, 0 DTE, minimum VIX of 1 and 25. And then we're going to go at 2:20 PM, like so. Oops, we don't need any of these advanced settings. Usually we can have these on if you want to skip CPI or early close days. We're just going to keep it settings for now. 50% take profit, 50% stop loss, and we're going to go 5 minutes. We're going to go 2 contracts, and we're going to launch. And there we go. We got our 3 starter bots. So 3 of our hedge fund bots all out there with 2 contracts. We can view all of them here, make sure it all looks good. It looks pretty good from there. So now what we want to do is build the variations, okay? So we're going to go ahead and build the variations. So this one was basically just, if I go back to here, it was this hedge fund backtest we did. So slightly different take profit, slightly different stop loss. We're going to keep the same thing going. So we're going to go over here. We're going to add this trading bot. We're going to call this HF bot 4. We're going to call it variation. Okay. SPY, Iron Condor. And this is just so I know kind of exactly what's what. So we're going to SPY, same exact thing. 0.2 deltas, 1, 0, 1, 25. Getting in at 2:20 PM. And so this one we did, what was it? If I go back, 25% take profit, 60% stop loss. Okay. So 25% take profit, 60% stop loss. We'll go 5 minutes. We'll go 2 contracts. And we'll launch that. We're going to get these other ones built on the way. And the rest of them should be pretty easy to build simply because we already have them as templates on the platform. So obviously, you know, a bot 5 variation, QQQ, IC. Obviously, if we were building all of them from scratch, which, I mean, we technically are, it would be a little bit more work. But honestly, it's not too bad to go ahead and do this. So we're going to go ahead and do this at 2:20. Same thing, just like that. We're going to go, I think it's 25 and 60. Let me just double check that. Where is that? Yep, 25 and 60. So we're going to continue that. We're going to go 2 contracts, launch that one. And then we're going to go with bot 6. So add that trading bot, HF, bot 6, variation, IWM, IC. Boom, connect the broker. We're going to go IWM, 0.2. Spread width is 1, 0 DTE, 1 to 25 VIX. And we're going to go 2:20 PM. Okay. And this should be pretty solid with those first 6 initial bots. Okay. Boom. All right. So there we go. We have these 6 different bots. So all the hedge fund bots in there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now what we can do is start to add the hedges for directional plays, butterfly, and then these ones as well. Now, the good news is, like I said, I already have these in as a template. the directional plays. So I named them here shield and spike. You can go ahead and just build these yourself with all this info. I'm not going to go ahead and type it in because I already have them as templates. So we're just going to go ahead and add these as shield and spike. So we're going to go ahead and add this trading bot. So we have shield. We're going to go ahead and do that. And these ones we had, I believe, 2 contracts as well. So we're going to launch that. And the other one is spike. Okay. So we're going to go back, add trading bot, spike, just like that. Connect the brokerage to, and then boom, launch. So just like that, we already got those bots up and running. So you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the last thing we need is the QQQ Iron Butterfly bot, which is one of the templates I'll show you. And then we got to get these ones out, all right? So if I go to here and I go to add a trading bot, so I can show you the template guide. So this is the QQQ 0DTE bot I was talking about. So it's an Iron Butterfly bot. You can see this is just a backtest with 1 contract. P&L curve looks really, really smooth. So that's why I really like it. You can see the average win, the average loss, and the risk use. So pretty small. The average loss being $72. Again, if we're doing 2 contracts, we're only losing $140 on average for this. Again, it might be a little higher in high IV environments, depending on what we're looking at. But essentially, all this one does is trade the QQQs and gets an Iron Butterfly around 140, which would be like right around here for this day. As long as we kind of stay within that range, it acts very similar to an Iron Condor. So this one should be pretty simple. So we're going to go ahead and add this one as well. So we're going to add that. That one's going to be the Blaze, just like that. And then we're going to add this with 2 contracts. Launch that. And in a few seconds here, this should load up, and then we should be good to go. And then really after this, all we need to create is the SPX Iron Condor and do that across QQ and IWM. And this is the one that's similar off the research from Henry Schwartz here at CBOE. Okay. So let me just refresh. Sometimes it may take a second to load here, and then we should be good to go. Okay, looks like it didn't load there. So let me just go ahead and add that real quick. So we're going to go ahead and add the Blaze, trade station. Sorry, not that one. Trade station, continue, 2 contracts, and launch. Sometimes you just need to refresh to get it to work. But yeah, this one should be working, and then we should be good to go just like that. All right, so we got Blaze, Spike, Shield. We got those 3 templates that we already made. We got the rest of these. Now we go ahead and build the last ones. All right, so this one's going to be the HF bot 9. And this one's going to be SPX Iron Condor. All right, so we're going to go to Trade Station Iron Condor. So this one's going to be on SPX. If I remember correctly, what we did here, we did the 0.1 delta with a 10-point width. So 0.1 delta, 10-point width. These were 0 DTE. I don't believe we had a min VIX or that, so we'll just keep this at like 50. Probably never going to get to that. And this one we're going to end at 10 a.m. Like so. So this one we did 100% take profit, 200% stop loss. So again, this was the high win rate one, right? So we're going for basically 100% take profit, really until it expires. 200% stop loss just in case. We can keep this in as 0. And then for this one, I believe we were doing, 1 contract because it was SPX. So SPX, we're going to go 1 contract. We're going to go ahead and launch that. And then for the other ones, we'll go back to 2 contracts. So we'll go add trading bot. This will be HF bot 10. This will be QQQ IC. Okay. So we can add that in. This one will be, again, QQQ. This will be 0.1 short strike delta. Now, the spread width doesn't need to be 10 because remember, on SPX, on these options, they go by 5 and 10 points, right? And so really what we can do on Qs and SPY is just bring it down to 2, or Qs and IWM, I'm sorry, would be bring it down to 2, right? So that's really all we need to do. So what we can do is we can actually make this 2. So again, if we're looking at the Qs for today, for example, so just so we can plan this out, right? We're getting the 0.1 delta, which would be here. 2-point width would be that. 0.1 delta is, oops, sorry. It would kind of be in between these, so maybe this one, and then 2-point width would be like that. So yeah, 616 by 607, just to mark it out so we can visualize it. 616 and 607 is that, right? It's a pretty big range, right? Basically, we need the rest of the day to stay in between here. It looks pretty probable. It's a pretty big range. So we can go ahead and do that. We'll keep the VIX 1 and 50. Make sure this is 0 DTE. Again, this one getting in at 10 a.m. We'll go 100% stop loss, 200% stop loss. Sorry, 100% take profit, 2% stop loss. We're going to leave it like that. 2 contracts. And then all we have to do is really add in the IWMs. It should be the last one. So if we go here, we go bot, I think I did it wrong, bot 12, IWM IC. We go trade station like this. IWM, we're going to go 0.1 delta, 2 spread width, 0. We can just make this 1 and 50. We're going to go same thing, 10 a.m. like so. Oops. Perfect. We're going to go 100% take profit, 200% stop loss, no exit, 2 contracts, and launch. Okay. Now, if we're looking at this, you can see we have, I forgot to name it bot 11 and 10, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. I messed up the names here, but you get the idea. We have 12 different bots in our portfolio, all connected. We know exactly how all of these work. We did the risk management behind them. Okay. Now, all I have to do is turn these on. So I'm going to go ahead and activate it, turn it on. Boom, on, just like this. And in less than a minute, I'm going to have a fully functioning algorithmic trading bot portfolio. Okay? Just like this. And it's going to be cool because we can see kind of how this performs over time. Now, if I were, again, a lot of what I did here was specifically for the video, right? If I were to actually build this out, I'd want to backtest each of these individually, right? I want to make sure that they actually work. I would probably want to run some of these on paper trading first as well. There's a few other things I would want to do, especially in the risk management side, to make sure. I kind of try to do everything slower down here in a video that's a little bit smaller so you guys can actually kind of see end-to-end how I actually do this and what my process is. But now that all of them are live, it's pretty much going to be running. We can see and track how they're going to perform. And these are going to auto trade on my TradeStation account for me until I tell it to stop. Okay? And that's what makes it really neat. It's completely passive. Once it's done, it's done. And again, the real key here that I did, that I want you guys to walk away with this, is that I did do a low volatility based strategy for this type of portfolio. Right? The goal here is I've seen different portfolios where people have 20, 50, over 100 different bots in one single portfolio. And you're going to want to add and build upon these so you have directional based strategies, high volatility based strategies, right? A lot of different things you can do with this. And inside this platform, we're going to add backtesting very soon. Like I said, we already have it done for most of this. We're also going to add in different straddles and strangles and opening range breakouts. Right, so if you're doing that, you can definitely add a lot more different high volatility strategies in there. And again, the goal here is that we have strategies, right? A lot of them are already built in this particular portfolio that make money when the market does nothing, right? We have a few hedge ones in that make money when the market goes up, one that makes money when the market goes down, okay? And then we also want to add in different strangles and straddles where, again, when the market just rips up or down, we're going to make money on those, okay? And honestly, we could just build those right now, right? If we wanted to add extra hedge into this, what we could do is say, okay, this will be hedge 1. Oops. Okay. And we could just do a simple single option based strategy, right? And so we can basically just buy SPY at like the point, let's go 0.2 delta. So we could buy a call, right? We could just long the call. We can get it 7 days out. And we can just get it basically right at market open. Right? Or we get it like, maybe 15 minutes after, or we'll go 10 minutes after market open. And we can also do it on the put side. So we can buy a call just like this. It's going to basically long the market right at the open. And we're also going to we can buy a put. It's going to long the market. So basically what we're doing if we're kind of building a straddle itself, just with two different bots, right? So if I go back, if we were doing, for example, on SPY, if I go back to here, let's say let's go with like the 0.05 delta. Let's go something really far out, right? Because we want to make sure we hedge. And let's say we did 1 DTE. So if I go 1 DTE, or today's Friday, so it would be 3 DTEs, but 1 DTE, we go with the 0.1 delta, right? Is that what I did? Sorry, 0.05. So we're going to buy the 692, and then we're going to buy we can do it on the put side as well, so we could buy the 663. So 663 and 692, okay? 663 and 692. 692 is up here, 663 is down here. Now what I'm doing is, obviously this looks very far. For me to profit on this, right, I need SPY to be greater than 662 or, sorry, greater than 660, less than 662, or it's greater than 692. So I need SPY in one day, today's Friday, so overnight or into the next day, close above this level or close below this level for me to profit on this exact one. But that's why it's a hedge, right? Because we're doing a bunch of low volatility strategies. So if I can add this in, I mean, we can just do it right now, right? 1 to 50, right? We can have a crazy take profit. We can do like a 400%. We can go like a 500%. Let me go back there. 500% take profit, right? No stop loss. Or stop loss is 0. 5-minute foreclose. We just add this in as a hedge. And this was on the call side. If we add one in on the put side, so we'll call this hedge 2, right? Oops, hedge 2. And so this one will actually be the put side, right? So we do SPY? I think it was SPY. We did 0.1 delta, sorry, 0.05 delta. Put, we're going to long the call, long the put side there, 1 DTE. Again, pretty much in all VIX environments here. We're going to get in this basically right at market open. We're kind of just putting together a strategy that's going to hedge for us, right? And so again, we'll go like 500% take profit, whatever. So we'll put this back at 5 minutes, 1 contract. Again, this is just as an example purposes here, right? You can see that, there we go. We now have our hedges in place, right? We can go ahead and turn these on, and these will auto trade for us and put that hedge in place. So we can basically have a bunch of strategies, which is our main thesis of our portfolio, that says, hey, as long as price stays within a range like this, our portfolio will make a bunch of money, right? We can even increase it like this. And then we can say, I'm going to add in some hedges, because if the market goes crazy, right? Especially with Iran, Trump talks, like this is a crazy time. We had a huge overnight gap just recently. If I get 1 DTE on these hedges, and I get in those every single day, well, now I'm hedged every single day. So the market goes crazy overnight, doesn't matter, right? These are going to hedge, and I'm probably still going to lose money, right? If I have like 10 different bots that are all low volatility, and I just have 2 hedges, right? The goal is not to make money every day. The goal is to have the least amount of drawdown. So if I can get these hedges to make money for us when the market is going crazy and the rest of the bots are losing, that's going to hedge and make my P&L curve look a lot smoother. And you can see just like that, in less than an hour, we built a 14 trading bot portfolio hedge fund that is live, connected to my broker, all without coding. All I did was use my knowledge. I used some back tests, which will be available on this platform very soon. I used some other research involved, and I built my trading bots. And I go ahead and turn these off whenever I want, and it's really as simple as that. All right. Now, if you are interested in using this platform or building your own bots or using any of our templates, you can go ahead and hit the first link in the description below to give this platform a try. It's a very simple model. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can go ahead and try it out. If you don't like it, you can go ahead and ask for a refund within the first 30 days. We have a bunch of bots we're testing. We also give you access to all these templates if you don't want to sit here and build your own, just like I did. But this is kind of what we like to teach to our students who are inside the platform, is that you want to build a portfolio. You want to have multiple different strategies. You want to have hedges in place. You want to plan it out first. You don't want to just build randomly. You want to back test. And if you do so, it's possible to build a full-time income. It's possible to build monthly income. We've had a lot of different students, a lot of different users create really sustainable income strategies using these different bots. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure to subscribe. Go ahead and give the platform a try if you liked it and you're interested. And I'll see you all in the next video.